Hi, welcome at DEX, our free design exercise from the Graphic Design School. My name is Anouk and today we're going to create some op-artsy kind of line effect in Adobe Illustrator. Op-art is short for optical art and it's that abstract style that uses optical illusions, aiming to make an impression of movement or vibrations, waves, depth, etc. I will show you a basic technique how to create and play with that effect. And after that, we will use the art to create some promotion materials. In my example, because the music festival season just started here in the Netherlands, I decided to create something for a festival, but feel free to decide yourself and see what kind of a match you can create between your design and the subject. Below the video you will find the brief for this DEX. It contains an exercise for 3 different levels, so pick the one that suits you best. Let's go, and we're going to open Adobe Illustrator. So here I am in Illustrator. I just created a new file. The size of your artboard doesn't really matter at this stage. You can always change it, and it also depends on what you are aiming to create later on. Okay, let's start. I'm just going to show you a couple of examples, different ways to approach it and different outcomes, and then you can decide what works for you and play around with that. Just going to quickly show you. First example, we're going to grab the ellipse tool. I'm just going to create a circle. And I'm just going to change this circle a little bit. So if you go to Effects, Distort and Transform, and grab the zigzag. Just going to put on Preview. Smooth. I'm just going to give it a little wave. A little bit more. Okay. And go to Object, Expand Appearance. And I'm going to copy this one, Command C and Command F to place it in front. And if you press Alt Shift and drag it in, we now have a smaller version of that same circle. Now grab both, select both, the little one and the bigger one, go to Object, go to Blend, Make, then go to Effects, Pathfinder, Exclude, and then we're gonna go over here to the Blend tool, double click, adjust it to the steps, specified steps, put on Preview, and we're gonna up the amount of steps to, let's see, 20, okay. Okay, so now you can see already the little bit of this effect, this wavy effect. There's little different things we can do. If we select this one and move it around, the effect completely changes. We can also give this one a little turn. If you have that little one selected, go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and go to, where is it? Transform. Put Preview on. And I'm just going to rotate it a little bit. And now you can see that effect in there as well. It's pretty cool. Okay. So this is one way of creating an effect. So drag it out. Change the color, black to a nice blue green. And you could even mask it if you want to. Get the rectangle tool out. Place this rectangle on top. Select both and then make clipping mask. Still move it around if you'd like to. So that's one way of doing it. And of course, if you change the shape of these, you've got a totally different effect. And by adjusting both the outer and the inner shape, You can also easily change the effect. So that's one way. Just gonna delete that one for now. Another way that I like to use is, let's go back to the ellipse tool. Let's create a circle, but now I'm just gonna use a line only, so no fill. And I want more of that organic shape. So with this one selected, your circle, I'm just gonna grab the warp tool, it's over here. And now you can see this circle. You can adjust the warp tool. So if you just drag over, you can see it adjusts the shape. To me, this is a bit too much. So I'm just gonna Command Z, undo. I'm gonna double click on it. Warp tool. I'm gonna adjust the details. So let's see. I just want it to be a bit bigger. Not too much details. Simplify. Yes. Intensity 80% is fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna adjust the size. If you press Alt, you drag your mouse out, you can easily adjust the size. So that's just something you can play around with. And just by dragging over shape. And then Alt, a bit smaller, add some smaller details. Okay, so that's my first shape. And I'm going to create another little circle in the middle. And I will adjust that. Press Alt. Okay. I'm going to select them both. And I'm going to go here to the blend tool. And then you can see that little square with the dots behind. That indicates that I activated the blend tool. I'm just going to click once on that one, once over there, and now we've got it activated. But I want way more lines than just one, so double click, preview, specified steps, and we're gonna add loads of lines. And you can see the effect of depth and movement already. I think this is fine. Maybe a few more. 70. Yeah, okay. There we go. So now we have the effect with lines. And we can still play around with this. So if we want to, for example, move that one around, we get a completely different effect. This is pretty cool. I'm just going to show you a couple of things. Just play around with it when you're at it. Make this one a little smaller. And I can turn that one around with that one selected. See effect and then distort and transform. Transform, preview on, and then play around with the angle. So we've got all these effects. This is a bit too much, but maybe just a little. Okay. We could even now play with the outer line that we used. So I'm just gonna get my warp tool back. See if we gonna make it a bit bigger, press Alt again. Create a bit more. That one drop down, see what happens. Do that again. Well, as you can see, you can just like play around with it. Add some little details. Okay, let me go back. Oh, selection tool back on. So here we are. So you can also do this with all these kind of different shapes to get a completely different effect. Another thing, so you can leave it like this. You can play around with the thickness of the stroke. So this makes it much thinner and fine. Up it a bit, much brighter. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put that one on 1. Now I'm gonna go here to Objects and I'm gonna expand the appearance. So now if I double click, I can show you these are all separate lines. Should all be separate lines? No, not yet. So I'm just gonna do that again. Objects, again expand. Okay, now it's gonna change. Expand everything, yes. And now it's all different lines. So the blend mode is gone. Just created all these fine lines. Just gonna grab the outer one. I'm gonna get it thicker. And that's, I like the effect of the thicker outsides. Okay, cool. I'm just gonna normally, and that's something I forgot, I always keep a copy of the original, and I didn't do that. So I'm just gonna undo, go back. So now I think we're back in the blend mode. Yes, we are. Just drag, press Alt and drag out a copy. So we always can go back to the original. Because there was one other thing that I wanted to show you. You can also play around with the color. If you, for example, pick this one, and we're going to give this, let's see, a different, this line, pinkish. You get the effects. So if you're creating like a gradient, it just changes the color to the other one, to the outer line that was green. You can also play around with thickness. So if you up the thickness of the line here, and this one is still really thin, you can see it also changes and slowly decreases the line thickness. So you get all these freaky effects. So there's lots of things to play with. Just gonna delete it and bring a copy of that one back in. Because I am gonna object expand, okay. I'm gonna go back to what I've shown before, so I'm just gonna grab that one, up a bit, like that I think. Yes. And because they're now all separate lines, I'm just gonna delete some of them to create a few like white spaces. Yes. I like that, the pattern that is created when we do that. So all these different ways to play around with the shape we just created. Okay, so play around with yours, experiment, and once you are done, we're gonna use the design, the art piece, and create some promotion materials. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so before we're going to create our promotion materials, I just quickly wanted to show you a couple of possibilities. So just to show you what you can create with this technique. These were all created with the same techniques, but they started off with a different shape and used different thickness of lines, different colors. So this is just a quick example of the variation that's possible, and there's way, way more. And what I've done here as well is masking parts of the shapes that I created, the designs. So here you see the whole, but here you see like just parts of the design. The same here, I masked it. So just to show this part. Yeah, so just quick a quick show of what's possible, and of course way more is. Okay, we're gonna start creating some promotion materials now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you some of the materials that I've created for this music festival called Wave Festival. It's not a real festival, by the way, it's just something that I made up for this tutorial. But as you can see, I used the design created before, and I used it on all the materials, but in different ways. So, for example, this is the poster. And I decided to use it completely to show the complete shape on the poster. And I doubled it because I liked the effect of merging them together, the two shapes. Just copied one and made it a bit smaller. So here you see we complete it completely and decided to use a really dark background and a bright color for the shape. Just to make it really pop. And just so you know, I used a font called Puffling, which I bought on a really nice site that I just quickly wanted to show you as a nice tip. It's called Future Fonts. Something, a site I really like. They've got really nice fonts, pretty original ones, and it's a site where designers are still developing their fonts, and some of them, because they're still in development, are not that expensive, and they're really, really nice ones on there. So just a little tip. I will put a link below the video as well. So what I've done here is I used the whole shape, but then let me show you another example. This is like the cover for the program. I masked part of the shape because I wanted the shape to come in from the left. So here I used part of it just by masking it, which is really easy. Here, for example, this is the VIP ticket, a tag that you can use when you are a VIP member. Let me just quickly show you. So this one is going outside of the box. So if I place a rectangle in the exact size, have it selected, and then select my shape, and then I'm gonna make clipping mask, and now you can see it just cut off the rest and it stays within the lines. Let's show you some other examples here. This is the entrance ticket, where I decided to cut off this bit, masked it, coming in from the right, more calm feel to it, and if needed there's more space to add in extra information, which is probably needed on an entrance ticket, like location and all that, times. So just leaving more space for more text. I created a homepage for like the and for the app on the iPad, and also for the app on the phone. So I was just playing around with that same shape in creating different elements for promoting the festival. Another tip is when you are placing the different elements in your artboards. It's always easy just to use your guides. So these are now wrong, but you just drag them out. So for example here, always nice to use your guides to place the different elements. So making sure everything lines up properly. So everything lines up here and here. So that was just a quick extra tip. Let me check if I did that correctly everywhere. Yeah, so you can see that here as well. Yeah, okay, so that was just some examples on how you can use your artwork and use it on different promotion materials. Okay, now it's your turn. I hope you can use this example to create something nice. And when you are done, you can upload your designs via the link under this text. And we hope you do, because we would love to see your designs. Okay, good luck. Bye-bye.